Now it's on. Okay. I'm sorry about that. I forgot to push one button. I need to come up with a checklist.
Checklist?
Okay, so we'll start this whole nonsense up again.
Can
you hear me now? First and foremost, what we're doing here is talking about piercing. I'm going to talk about subcultures, or we're going to talk about subcultures and piercings, where they came from, what have you, and kind of give you a brief history on that, maybe, and answer any questions that you may have about piercing. We're going to start off by talking about this show. Do every Monday, starting at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to do it until we can't anymore, and kind of talk about the week we had. It was a little busy, but not too busy. Met a lot of interesting people, had some wonderful conversations as always. She checked out, finally, what'd you check out on?
I checked out on female nipples.
Yay!
Yay! It was so much fun.
Now we get to let her be in the room by herself when she does them. Yeah. And I don't have to supervise absolutely every one of them. Got up some videos, so many I can't even remember. Starting on Thursday, I did Why Rings Cause Problems. It's one of the new to piercing episodes. That one, if you're one of those people that has ever wondered why we are always like, don't put rings in it. It's a good video to watch because it covers kind of the differences in the shape and the curvature between post jewelry, curved barbells, and rings, and why we also ask you to wait until you change the jewelry shape. Then she had a video up on Friday. What was that video?
That was talking about my experience with stretching my ears and blowout and all that fun stuff. No, I really enjoyed that video just because I love talking about like the less common part of body mod, like piercings.
Yeah, everybody talks about the positive things. They rarely talk about the negative stuff. Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's because they're trying to entice people.
Yeah, I guess.
Trying to like reel them in and be like, get piercings, get piercings.
Then I put out 3 other ones. Tongue piercing myths debunked. Covered 15 of those. And then the top 5 worst navel jewelry. I hope I don't get if it gets demonetized, fine. If I don't get copyright nonsense. I mean, I think it's fair use. I used basically 4 photos from Body Candy because I just figured that would be the grossest jewelry I could find. and it was kind of time consuming because there's a lot of gross jewelry on there.
That's true. I think the one you used for the thumbnail, I think that's probably my favorite one that you found.
The one with it has a bluebird on top for the top part, and the bottom part is like a bunch of flowers. But when you look at it, it's so poorly done that you can see the scratches and imperfections in the setting. Mm-hmm. And it was somebody went through that and ran it through some editing to make it look pretty. And then earlier today, just a while ago, actually, I posted the Gestrum video, pros and cons by a piercer. I'm coming to the kind of the tail end of that. It's a series that I've been doing for, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years. And it's just, I'm starting to run out of topics, which the other option is to start season 3 and then just go over everything again, which I don't know about you guys, but that gets a little kind of tiresome after a while. Yeah. I kind of want a new, a new thing to go into. So subcultures. I'm on the 12 or 13 just said, I want a snug piercing. You want to know about snug piercing? You have to have the perfect anatomy. Yeah. You have to have the ability to completely and utterly isolate that part of your ear for about a year. Mm-hmm. It's a very difficult to heal. Has to be done curved barbells. But it's possible. I've had clients heal them out in the past. It's just not something that everybody has, and one of the reasons why is because of that. Jay in 720, welcome back. Hello, what piercings would you not recommend threadless jewelry for? You want to bank that one? Threadless jewelry.
Hold on.
What piercings would you suggest against putting threadless jewelry in? And there's a difference between healed and healing. So we'll start with healed piercing.
Yeah. I'd probably recommend areas that are high traffic for sure, where it's like you're constantly kind of having contact with it. So like, I guess things in more like
Places to get more contact.
yeah, like mouth piercings, like oral piercings, I guess.
I have had some clients who have good luck wearing them and healed.
Yeah, I mean, I personally didn't, but that's just me.
Did we try one with you? I don't remember.
Yeah, when I had my snake bites.
Okay.
But I also kept messing with it, so that's my fault.
Yeah, because I'd sit there and watch you dick around with them all day.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, here's what my list of suggestions of not to wear in healing piercings, oral piercings, especially those, actually all of them. It's usually best to start out with threaded jewelry just because it's a little bit more secured until you're used to it being there and you're able to kind of keep away from it more often. You've kind of trained yourself to do that. The other place would be genital piercings.
Oh yeah.
You said high traffic area. I guess that could be a high traffic area.
I feel like the contact of.
I feel like I'm too far out of the frame. Did you move on me?
No.
Trying to get away from me?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, we spend so much time together. Okay, that might be a little bit better. Yeah, high traffic areas. So I guess it depends on, what you got going on in your life. But yeah, genital piercings would be one of those places where you really need something that's very secured. And threaded jewelry can be a little bit more secured, but it's kind of a trade-off. Yes, if it gets pulled on, it's not going to come off immediately. But if you do not pay attention and it unscrews, it's going to fall off.
Yeah.
So most other piercings, I don't know. I like to do eyebrows with threaded jewelry.
Yeah.
Any oral piercings with threaded jewelry. Even our nipples, I generally do with threaded jewelry. I think threaded jewelry, in most cases with areas where I'm concerned about the ball falling off, it seems like it's better to do it with that because it's less of a hassle for the client.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It's a little bit more secure. But other than that, yeah, I've had clients where tongue piercings would be another one that I would not suggest putting threadless jewelry on. That and with curved barbells, they tend to be a little bit more tricky with the ends coming out of them if they're not bent just perfectly.
Yeah.
It really depends on the style. There's like kind of two styles, and I didn't go into that in the last video, and I was starting to and went, no, I can't make this more complicated. There's the natural perfect curve, and then there's the bent ones. The bent ones, it's kind of usually a little easier to avoid this, but with some of the curved ones, if you bend it, you don't pay attention, you'll bend it almost to exactly that curvature. So the ball spins or the end spins around, and it gets perfectly aligned to that curvature and falls out.
Yeah.
Like you didn't bend it at all. Okay. Is that my Jeremiah? I understand not wanting to make repetitive content. I like the piercing battle videos and the parts of the videos where you go more into the cultural and history. Yeah, and the problem with a lot of the cultural history stuff is, and that's what I'm kind of trying to do tonight, if I can stop being distracted. We literally had a client at a quarter of. So it was just like, rush, finish out bookwork, get over here. And then I forgot to turn the mic on. The history stuff, a lot of it's because part of the problem with it is people didn't document prior to modern times their genital piercings.
Really?
Or even female nipple. Like there's always been all these rumors about female nipple piercings, but there's no documented proof of it. It's just kind of romancy novel type stuff, or it's a situation where politically they were trying to, like, somebody been overthrown and they were trying to paint them as a bad person.
Okay, yeah.
Does that make sense? So yeah, I do like to go into that because to me it's important to know that background. And I guess I could possibly, I'd have to think on it, maybe a series where it's just the history of each piercing. The other problem is at the beginning there was a lot of stuff made up to try to sell piercings.
That's true.
By Dave, is it Maloney or Malloy, or who was like one of the fathers of modern piercing. Without him, in his contributions, financially especially, there wouldn't have been a gauntlet. And without a gauntlet, I don't think we would have an industry right now. So it's kind of, yeah. but he made up a lot of the history stuff, like the Prince Albert had a Prince Albert piercing. Roman guards had their nipples pierced. Navel piercing was a sign of Egyptian royalty.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of those. And there's no documented historical
Evidence
of any of that. It's all made up. But it's a good story. I mean, sometimes that's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time. And there are places, if you're interested in that stuff, the history, because he says, makes sense. It would take a lot of work to find info and verify it. There are some stuff on like Body Mod Easing used to have a lot of that stuff, BME.com. And I haven't been there in a very, very long time, so I don't know how much of it exists anymore. Where people did do that. I've seen some, and the weird thing is there's not like a consistent one source. They're all over the place, and a lot of them are academic. And with at least in the United States, that stuff ain't free.
Yeah,
it's behind paywalls, most of it. So, and verifying it, who knows? Anyway,
have to take it like folklore.
And part of it is, and part of it that's, the general culture.
Yeah.
We know what the history's been since about 75. I think that's when Gauntlet started, was 75.
Yeah.
So we know most of that history pretty well, but before that it's kind of
hearsay.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the part that's been covered in various different places, including Modern Primitives and a couple other books. It kind of started with like this group of individuals that kind of found they're weirdos.
Yeah.
And this is why subcultures are so important. A lot of piercing was going on in the underground prior to that period of time. Most of it was done by people, just do it yourself kind of situations using whatever was available. There wasn't pre-made needles. There wasn't pre-made jewelry. It was kind of a haphazard situation. There was no standards. People didn't really know a lot about anatomy and what was behind there other than studying Gray's Anatomy and various anatomy books and kind of trying to figure it out. So, the primary cultures that were involved in that were probably, you can't get piercing without gay subcultures, especially the leather culture, also BDSM and that scene in the 70s and 80s, kind of more out there sexual subcultures, and musically alternative underground rock and roll, from some of the 60s type stuff, the hippie stuff, all the way through to probably the one that became the most visible would be punk rock.
Yeah.
And then it really got into the mainstream because of alternative culture, which was part of everything that we had. Yeah, rest in peace, Sean. I heard his daughter has been making an effort to bring it back. That would be fantastic if she could. So much valuable stuff in the community that has stayed underground. Yes, and okay, I used to talk to him occasionally or interact with him on Rec Art Body Art. I don't know if you've ever heard of that or been around that long. And there was probably, 20 or 30 piercers on there, along with just tons and tons of piercing fans and piercees or whatever you want to call them. And a lot of information was shared on there. Some of it is very outdated now. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of, it just kind of dissipates after a while with these websites. And a lot of times, like in this case, he's no longer with us. So it just kind of went away.
Yeah.
And I know people tried to keep it going and it just kind of
failed.
There was a paywall for a while and a bunch of other stuff. But I mean, so maybe a lot of you have never experienced that. But what BME was on the internet was it was an open source for anything involving modification of the body. Mm-hmm. And that ranged from getting your ears pierced or whatever you think is like a simple modification to getting tattooed and more evolved piercings, all the way down to nullification, and implants and, or not all the way, but down, but all the way to. I'm not trying to be derogatory about any of this because it's not my body they're doing it to. I just know my personal thing I'm not doing. All the way down to like very extreme, like even people that wanted to modify by removing limbs and fingers and everything else. And the approach to it was basically, okay, here's your forum. Give us the information. We're not going to judge anybody. It was very open.
Yeah, open discussion.
And I think that is, and that's the climate. Like a lot of people are like, oh, thank you for doing the channel. Thank you for being so open about stuff and everything. The people that I contacted when I first got into this, and like Rec Art Body Art and just my interactions on the internet and talking to people on the phone and getting letters from people, everybody was really, really open. They gave me information whenever I asked for it. It was a very, and I've always felt like it was my responsibility to pass that on to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I just love talking about piercings.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very good mindset to have.
Yeah. I'm terrible with these nicknames of exactly how they're supposed to be because my mind, I'm dyslexic. She's dyslexic, so it doesn't make a good combination. I'm the 12 I'm just going to call you 12 or 3. Do you have 2 industrial piercings on each ear? Both are, I have. I was like, no, I don't have any industrial piercings. She does. That's one thing we did this week. We downsized hers.
Yeah. So much more comfortable.
Yeah. It was swelling. Yeah. Now it seems to be simmering down into a heel. So hopefully she keeps things away from it.
I will.
Anyway. Yeah. They say, I have 2 industrial piercings, 1 on each ear. Both are different. One's is custom made. Yeah, a lot of times I don't like doing that because I'm afraid that client is not going to be around anymore, or they're going to move, or something happens to me and they can't get back to me, or they can't find somebody that's going to bend it for them. So they go out and they buy a piece of jewelry not knowing that it's bent, and then they put the straight one in there, and then they start having problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are some ears that has to happen. And they have to be customized, done every day or every time. Not every day. You don't have to bend it every day. JN or MJ. I'm much newer to the mod subculture, so I've only been able to glean into our info from what was archived on the site in the Reddit body mod community, which I understand a lot of that stuff moved to Reddit, and I'm in good experiences on Reddit. That's just me. Nice to hear that this community has always been open. Yes, it is, and I think it's coming from, and I think why it's important to talk about where this came from is because the communities that it came from, now granted, a lot of them can be very closed door, and they tend to get that way the bigger they get. Mm-hmm. But a lot of them, that was kind of the thing. It's like, oh, you're a weirdo. You listen to this. You're not the norm. You're into that. You do that. You dress like that. You look fantastic. Hey, do you like this? Do you like that? Do you like that? And it was just this idea because they were so excited to meet anybody else that may actually like this, like you and your anime stuff.
I think anime is very big right now.
I know it is, but you got to understand that there was a time when, no, it wasn't. Like, I knew one person that was into anime when I was your age.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's grown a lot in the past couple of years. I don't know. I've always been, like, a little bit into it. Not a little bit, like a little lot, because I was a weird kid. But it's definitely grown a lot, and so I feel like
it's more mainstream and more accepted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing with every subculture I've pretty much been involved in.
Yeah.
I just got there too damn early to capitalize on it.
Oh.
I mean, I think it's inevitable. Anything that's worthwhile and good will always rise to the surface eventually.
Yeah.
And people get mad about it because it's like, oh, they're taking our culture and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no. I mean, my attitude, that's the other thing is most of the people I met early on, and including myself, and I'm, you know, you talked about like her being 18 and being into punk rock and me being, you know, old into punk rock. I've always had the approach. It's like everybody's like, oh, what do you think about all these new kids showing up and everything else? Like, come along, join the party. I know why you're here.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want more of you here. It's that kind of Roach Motel mentality. We used to do this is the analogy we used to use, because Roach Motels, if you know what that is, it's like this box that they lure roaches into, and then it's got a stickiness to it.
Yeah.
So you'd think the first roach that got caught in there would be like, you know, making sure to warn anybody else. But in reality, he's probably in there, and the next guy comes along and he's like, what's it like in there? You know, hey, you know, George, you're stuck in there. What's it like in there? And George is like, oh, it's great, man. It's really nice in here. It's well lit. The temperature's perfect, and there's tons of food. So then the other guy comes in there and he gets his head stuck. And he's like, why would you do that to somebody? It's like, I don't know, but let's see how many more we can get in here. And it's kind of the way a lot of things are. If you really care about something and it really matters to you, you want to get as many people into it as possible.
Yeah.
I've never understood exclusive elitism.
Yeah, that like gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah. I've never really understood it.
And it's interesting with the mod culture because it was all these people coming from different backgrounds kind of meeting together. That's what created piercing. Because you had like Fakur, who was more from a spiritual element, which they don't really talk about much. And I don't know how much of that's really going on now.
Yeah.
Because a little of it was kind of cultural appropriation. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm going to go do a Sioux Sundance. Okay. That's neat. But, you know, did you talk to the people that this is their culture, and is it okay with them? And is it something they want you to do? Mm-hmm. And I understand the draw to do it. I mean, I think some of my initial understanding of modifications and my drive and interest in it, and maybe my interest in subcultures in the first place, came from National Geographics. Because my grandmother gave me a subscription, and there was a lot of stuff in there that I probably would never have been exposed to otherwise, especially with indigenous tribes.
Really?
Yeah, I know you chuckled because you thought it was because of the naked ladies, but that's not really what it was. It was all the other stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
And the animals, of course.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it was 12. You know. Anyway. So the internet's changed a lot of that, because now people can get in these like cyclones or these tight little groups and just live in that group, and they don't really go outward. And if you don't go outward and have new people coming in, you don't get new ideas. That's
true.
So, I don't know. It's like, I think I may have ran out. And the other thing I always like to tell people is it sucked when I first started. So if you think it sucks now, it would have sucked just as much back when I started.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is I know that it wasn't really that great back then, because there was just not that many people out there with that stuff that had piercings and enjoyed them and whatever. And this little group came together and started sharing information and ideas and different jewelry designs. And you got somebody that was involved in metal, and you got somebody that was involved in jewelry making and this and that. And that's how that whole thing started. So, you know, it's like the old joke, you know, what's the next big thing? It's being done in a garage somewhere.
Yeah.
By people that probably shouldn't be doing it. Anyway. And as far as entering the mainstream, it was music. I think music has driven so many fashion parts of our lives. It's hard not to mention that.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
So sorry.
Oh, there's a sleepy Joe over here. Yes. Yeah. More people joining makes the building the knowledge base or the knowledge better. I wholeheartedly agree. And that's part of the problem. It was kind of, it's easy for piercers to kind of get isolated. Same thing with tattoo artists. We tend to be, there's not a lot of us around, even with the boom that's been going on for the last, I don't know, 10 or 15 years. There's probably, there might be 40 shops in town. But really, when you think about it, there might be 40 piercers, within the state.
Yeah.
I don't meet a lot of them, partly because I don't go to their shops. Everybody's always like, why don't you go to their shops? And it's like, what do you do on your days off?
Yeah, I had someone ask me earlier today, actually, because we don't do dermals or surface to surface piercings. I had someone today ask me while I was piercing their nose, and he was like, "Oh, do you know where I can get a surface to surface piercing or dermals?" And I was like, I don't go to other shops, but I did explain to him the difference between the two, because I think it's extremely important to be educated, even if you do not. Well, you don't partake in that,
And my policy has always been, if I say I don't do something, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Exactly why I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Whether, and that's the funny thing I ran into with when I was doing the tongue piercing myths, is a lot of that stuff, and I don't think I came across completely, because when I watched it back, I was like, hey, I should have driven that home a little bit more. A lot of those myths, especially on placement, and the paralyzation and losing your taste and all that stuff was made up by piercers.
Really?
I think. Because I think what it was, they didn't want to do it at that minute.
Yeah.
So it's much easier to walk out there and go, no, if I do your tongue, it'll be paralyzed. Because then the person is going to ask any questions.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, oh, no, I don't want my tongue paralyzed.
Yeah.
And once again, if people aren't sharing information about stuff, it's easy to get locked into this idea that you're right.
Yeah.
Because it's never being contested.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important that we have the internet.
That is why. It's extremely important.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of knowledge at your fingertips. And I think it's important to take advantage of that,
And sometimes a lot of disinformation.
That's true, but
it helps you build a brain to have some critical thinking about stuff. And I think that's important. Some of the most interesting people I've ever met usually ask me tons of questions.
Yeah.
And the reason why they were so interesting is because they were inquisitive and very knowledgeable.
Yeah. Curious souls.
Yeah, it's just something about it. Just anyway. But yeah, I'd love to see BMA come back. That would be awesome. And I don't know if anybody could do that as well as he did. So, and there's so much stuff on there. I ran an archive for local music called the Underground Archives here in Des Moines, and then it branched out to most of Iowa, Nebraska, and so forth. And then I broke my wrist and was out of work for like 6 weeks. Last time I skateboarded, trying to show off for my kid. And just getting that thing back up again would be next to impossible.
Yeah.
Because it's like 1,200 listings, and it was all like kind of a Wikipedia type thing. Yep. But it's there.
It exists.
Just got to find the motivation or someone else to do it. I don't know. So, I mean, where do you think you first saw piercings? Other than ear piercings? Because I'm curious at your age.
I have a very vivid memory of being on the internet web as a small child. Okay. And I was watching YouTube, and I was watching this like girl explain something, but she had cheek piercings. And I thought they were so interesting. And I had never seen anything like it before, like I'd seen like maybe some like ear piercings, some ear work, a nostril piercing, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'd never seen something so like out of the box, I guess.
Okay.
Out of what my mind would think would be possible at the ripe age of 8. And so I started doing like some like looking on the internet, like
where does that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what is that? And I got a bunch of mixed results about how people go about piercing them.
Or how safe they are.
Yeah,
that's part of the most common problem, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I don't know. It just always seemed to be there. Like, really? I remember Well, being in the punk rock scene, I'd seen all the UK stuff with people with cheek piercings and all that stuff.
Really?
I was exposed to genital piercings probably when I was 15 or 16 at a party. I mean, that sounded bad. Let me explain this. It was a psychic TV video.
Okay.
Where he talked about having a Prince Albert. And that was probably the first time I'd ever really heard of that or even knew that that even existed.
Yeah.
And that would have been, 84, 85. Right around in there. But then, I'd seen, there was people around that had their nostrils pierced. They were kind of rare, though. Like, if you were really racy, you had maybe 5 or 6 ear piercings.
Okay.
Lobe. And then, if you were really crazy, you had an upper ear cartilage. We called it back in the day. Now we would call it a helix. You didn't see a lot of facial piercings. I didn't see an eyebrow piercing until I really started doing research. And that would have been probably about 89 or 90. When I started going to communist bookstores. I don't know what else to call them. They're like hippie shops.
Okay.
They'd sell like I have PFIQs, piercing found quarterly internationals, that I have at home that I kept in plastic, like the bags you use for comics.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you open them up, it smells like incense. Because and it's one of those places where it was like not goth, kind of goth, not punk, kind of punk. It was just a weird shop.
Yeah.
That's where you found stuff like that in porno bookstores. And so, I started climbing through all those places looking for stuff because there wasn't really anywhere you could mail off. Some of it got to the point where it was a little bit more readily available once, Borders expanded, Borders Books. And what's a big bookstore? The one that's failing now that ran
Barnes & Noble?
Yes. They started having some of that stuff. Let's see. MJ says, seen emo YouTubers when I was younger, and they had lots of piercings. So related there. Took until I got involved in hardcore scene to finally get a few piercings. Yeah, hardcore is one of those things. We were talking about this the other day.
We were.
It seems to keep coming back. Hardcore scene. I remember the first time I went to a hardcore show, like in the 90s, like the new version of it, because I grew up listening to like the original 80s punk hardcore stuff. And I also listened to a lot of the NYC stuff and some of that early kind of tough guy and youthcore stuff.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like the more it got metal, the more I just wasn't interested. I was just like, why are these people so angry? Don't somebody give them a hug or something? But it was interesting to me to finally go back to the shows and see a few of them, and the amount of modification was more than I saw at the punk shows at that time.
Yeah.
Like that 90s punk kid had like the nostril screw and or nostril piercing, maybe an eyebrow and a lip piercing. But that's about it. But as far as like more extreme stuff, like stretched ears and nape of the neck and that kind of stuff, that was more of a hardcore thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have another one here. Care Bear. I know how to read that. That's like one of my favorite Murphy's Law songs, talking about hardcore. As someone who's currently looking for an apprenticeship, I was wondering if I will always need a second form of income after becoming a professional. I know I won't be a millionaire. And they go on to say, I'm passionate about body modification, but I want to pay my bills. I get that. And as somebody that's been in the business for 31 years, I completely get that.
Yeah.
The key to it, or the thing is that, at least it's been my experience in Des Moines, which is not a normal market than maybe larger areas would be, is it kind of goes through these increases and withdrawals with the recessions. And at least in the United States, it seems like we're having a recession every decade.
Yeah.
But they seem like they're closer together. So while you're going through your apprenticeship, probably Here's the thing. Somebody said to me a long time ago, if you don't have people working for you, you're not making any real money. So it kind of creates a situation where an apprentice, depending on what kind of a deal you have with where you're working, you could possibly make a good living. Because there's weeks you walk out here with some bank.
Yeah, there's weeks I walk out of here with like $600. Then there's weeks where I have maybe $50.
And keep in mind that's working 3 days.
Yeah.
I've had client, and I've done the math on my last apprentice, and she was averaging, a decent wage, right around 20 for like working less than 30 hours a week. Because when she did show up towards the end, she was averaging, I think it was $27 an hour.
Yeah.
And she was on me about making more money, and I'm like, well, then work more. That's the answer. And it was less than 20 hours. It was like 20 hours. No, I know what it was. It was 18. She was only here 3 days a week. Because we're only open technically 6 hours. I usually don't work just 6 hours. Now, the apprenticeship period is going to be your lowest income period, but it depends on what your plans are in the future. Are you planning on staying on in that place and working off a percentage, which has its advantages or disadvantages? Because there's the advantage of you don't have to buy jewelry, you don't have to buy supplies, you don't have to rent a place, you don't have to pay insurance, you don't have to pay for the electric, the power bill, the freaking internet, the Wi-Fi router, all this crap that goes into running a business. You can, you're not going to make as much. If you go into as you're going to make, if you do all of those things and pay for all those things and then have enough business, you're going to make more money.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to explain that. So it really depends on your plan. If you're going to work for somebody else, yes, you can make a comfortable living if the business is busy enough and consistent without a second job. Now, when you're going through the apprenticeship where you're checking out on things and depending on how they pay you, because mine is unique from the standpoint of she gets a percentage of any jewelry sales that she makes. And she gets tipped, of course. And I require a certain level that she hits before she makes money on individual piercings. And then it's a set percentage.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have to pay for gloves. You don't pay for freaking anything, do you?
No.
Freeloader.
I hang around. I clean tools whenever
she
I'm
pays with her
up to it.
duties, her labor.
Oh. I pay in labor.
And it depends on my week, how busy we are, how much she's going to make. And it also depends on what I've got going on and how much she's going to make.
Yeah.
Because there's some times where I can't step away from what I'm doing because I want to get it done. So she's going to be more apt to be the person piercing. And then there's other days where it's like, we're trading off. Mm-hmm. Or I get to hand pick what I want to do.
Yeah. Because you are my boss.
Or we have clients that come in that are like flat out, nope, she's not doing it.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest at the start is finding, just find part-time jobs and stuff you don't really care about.
Yeah.
She's had 2 of them since she's been here and starting on a 3rd.
Yeah. Trampoline park.
She worked at a pizza place that I don't like.
It's delicious.
It's awful.
I love Northern Lights. It's awesome. I've also worked there for like
Domino's heavy. That's what it is.
Oh, Lord.
She also says she likes Domino's.
I do like Domino's. It's good.
Ugh,
You're just a hater.
No, I've just tasted good pizza.
Oh, Lord. And then I worked
I have standards.
And then I worked at AutoZone for a very brief period.
You were
of
in
time.
the zone.
I was in the zone at AutoZone. Now I'm starting at a trampoline park, and it's kind of just petty side jobs. I mean, I do care about them when I'm there, but like, other than that, it's not like I'm like, this is going to be my career.
This is what I'm doing. And they are that type of job.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And one thing I've always told people is, and this is a quote from Utah Phillips, is living, not a killing.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows who the Utah Phillips is. He was an anarchist and communist and a folk singer on the level of Woody Guthrie, kind of a little bit behind that. Like he came later after Woody. Very much involved in the labor unions and everything else. But he was offered like substantial amounts of money to let Johnny Cash and other country stars record his songs, and he refused to do it because he didn't want to lose control of his music.
Yeah.
is art. And his philosophy all the time was, hey, just pay me enough for the bus fare and enough to feed myself and pay the mortgage, and I'm happy. And that's kind of the mindset that most people I know in this business that have lasted do have. So, you got to kind of look at your expenses and what you can afford. And then there's periods of time where it's like, I'm buying everything.
Yeah.
Because there's been times when I blew money on stuff I didn't need.
Like your drone.
Yeah, that I lost in a tree after 3 flights.
I think it was only 2.
No, it was the second time I had it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was sad.
It's still up there.
Yeah, and of all the places for it to land, it was like a very wooded area. There was no way I'm getting to it.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested, there's a drone high up in a tree.
Yeah.
On the Raccoon River.
No, on the Des Moines.
On the Des Moines River. My bad.
Yes, we have 2 rivers here to fish from, and you don't want to eat fish out of either of them.
You don't want to swim in either of them.
No, you don't. But they're gonna have that thing there where you can surf next summer.
What?
Yeah. You didn't know about this?
No, I don't.
The water adventure park thing they're building.
No.
It's gonna have rapids and the whole 9 yards, so you can canoe down it.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, we're getting fancy here.
Oh, we are getting new bike lanes.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to piercing. And they go on to say that's realistic and reassuring. Thank you both. Love your purple hair. I love the purple hair. Don't worry. Next week it'll be a different color.
I'm actually quite amazed at how well the purple is staying. I think this is my 2nd or 3rd wash, and usually it's like pink by now. So I'm amazed. I'm riding the high of how well this purple is staying.
Yes, good luck, Care Bear. And I always tell people that when they're starting out, if they have any questions, because I've even had people come into the studio and they're asking me about it, and they're asking apprenticeship. It's like, or they'll call and they'll say, "Are you looking for an apprentice?" And I'll go, "No." But I always tell them, hey, if you want to come in and visit, I'm happy to give you advice.
Yeah.
And any information I can.
Yeah.
Because I want this thing to keep going.
Yeah.
But, it's hard because I turn away a lot of people that probably have potential, but I just don't feel comfortable having more than one at a time.
Have you had someone ask for an apprenticeship since I started?
Yep.
Really?
About 4 of them.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm the lucky one.
Aren't you, though? But no, I've always had a policy one at a time.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
And some things you want to look out for is ask them about the length of the apprenticeship and exactly what it's going to take to get through it. Mm-hmm. Because if those are not clear set goals, they're going to take advantage of you. And that it's easy for them to do that because, well, part of your responsibilities is running the front counter and taking appointments for all the tattoo guys and doing this and doing that. And then you've been there for 6 months and you realize that all you've been doing is sweeping floors and taking appointments for the tattoo guys.
Yeah.
And you haven't learned anything.
Yeah.
Or the other extreme of it, which is you're going to watch me for a day and then tomorrow I got a doctor's appointment and I got to go pick up my kid. So you're going to be here by yourself all day.
Yeah.
And you got to do whatever comes through the door. Or, Jess's version, here's some jewelry, here's the stuff, go in the back and pierce your nipples and then come out and tell us how it went. Lord almighty. So yeah, and I hope that thanks to the internet that some of that information that's out there has kind of eliminated that.
Yeah, definitely. Limited the amount of people getting taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And have given people who have been taken advantage of a voice to like actually talk about it and talk about like the signs of that to help other people who might be looking for an apprenticeship with either tattooing or piercing, be able to look for those signs and know like, oh, this is not a good circumstance or situation or agreement to have with another person.
And have it all in writing.
Yeah, definitely. That's
and so that's the thing I don't understand about it because I hear all these horror stories, including Horatius, just evil, like sexual abuse and all kinds of other things that I can't imagine being involved with.
Yeah.
And the thing I've always had is I want you to be piercing after I go. Mm-hmm. And I want you to make a living at this. So why would I do anything that would impede that?
I don't know.
And it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I wouldn't take on an apprentice if I didn't want to teach somebody.
Exactly.
Just doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, I guess I missed that class.
And being an evil mentor.
Oh, evil mentor. I don't even haze you.
What? Sometimes you're a little bit mean to me.
How?
Well, I don't know. You point out my relationship problems.
Oh, that's just because you keep telling me them.
Because I paid you. You're my mentor and also my therapist.
Yeah. How's that going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. You give me some great advice, and I don't listen to it.
Yeah, that you don't listen to. You just go and do. Yeah. Well, it gives me something to laugh about.
Yeah. I hope my life is entertaining to you.
Yes. At times. At times, it's kind of like. And that's part of it too. You should have somebody in your life as a mentor that is concerned with your overall well-being. Yeah. And that doesn't just involve how you're working at the shop, but, you know, are you in a safe living environment? Are you comfortable financially? All those things do play into your performance at work.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And I can, you know, I've even checked in with you like, you okay?
Yeah.
And I think that's important. You know, and I'm the same way with clients. I'll do the same thing with clients when I feel like they're off or something's going wrong.
Yeah.
You know, show some humanity.
And I feel like
what I'm getting into.
I feel like doing that has built so many regulars.
Yeah.
By like checking in, like I can't even think of one example. You know, like I know there are clients. It's just like there's so many that I can't just pick one.
I know, because the other ones will be upset about it.
Yeah.
It's like picking the favorite child.
I know. I can't pick a favorite child.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I guess, and I've kind of been. I wish I would have had a few minutes more to kind of sit down and think this out beforehand. It's just been one of those days, guys. I'm sorry from that standpoint if we seem really all over the place. I think it's important that you do find that core group of people, either on the internet or elsewhere, and that are supportive and fit in. Mm-hmm. We had a client this week that I guess I could highlight this. This was a good experience.
Yeah.
She's going through some stuff. She's been married for 16 years, and that's coming to an end. And there was a lot of talk about how she's kind of coming into her own as a person, mm-hmm. and how part of that is getting the piercings that she got.
Yeah.
And helping her through that experience and talking about that and kind of going over the reasons and everything else. I know a lot of people would be really annoyed with, but to me, that's a better experience for me.
Yeah.
And for her to like go, you know, hey, yeah, you know, unload on me. Tell me what's going on with your life.
Yeah.
I mean, you did the piercings, but I was in the room, so.
Yeah, and you were like talking with her. And I don't know, I think it's really important to make people feel safe and comfortable, and like they can talk about things, you know, while also still having that professional boundary, you know, because
the best part about it was she was coming in and getting piercings that he specifically told her that he would divorce her if she got.
Yeah.
And the reason that sparked all this is she came in and got her nostril pierced.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay, so this guy's, you know, this person is a jerk.
Yeah.
Controlling everything else. And it was fun to kind of help through that. And I knew she was going through a lot of stuff at the time.
Yeah. Really thinking about a lot. I don't know. I was actually, when I talked about regulars, because she was originally a regular for Brent.
So she's been tattooed here. So she's part of the shop family.
Yeah. And so I was gonna bring her up, and then I was like, well, now that I'm thinking about it, there's so many other clients that I can't just pick one.
I mean, and that was just one experience we had this week. That happens all the time. Mm-hmm. You know, I did a couple weeks ago a lady that just finished law school.
Yeah.
So she was getting some piercings to celebrate that, and that's incredible to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's fun to be a part of people's big moments in life.
Then there's the days where you have people that, you know, then you have the clients that don't want to hear anything you have to say. They just want it over with.
Yeah.
Those are okay. That's fine. But at the same time, they're not as much fun.
No.
Or just as interesting or as fulfilling.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, anyway. And I'm weird that way, I guess. I want to know your stuff. I want to know what's going on in there.
You're nosy.
Yep, nosy. I was born that
gracious.
way. You should have met my mother. MJ said, because became a regular at my local shop just due to how kind and helpful they were with my conch. Now they've done my septum, my vertical abray, and 2 flats. That's how it works. You know, I'm one of those people that if you come in with a problem, I'll help you, and I'm not going to charge you for it, even if I didn't do the piercing.
Yeah.
And I used to have people go, "Why do you do that? You know, they didn't pay you anything. They didn't buy jewelry from you. They didn't you know, they didn't sell, you know, they didn't tip you." And it's like, yeah, but I got 10 minutes with that person to show them that there's a different way of experiencing this.
Yeah.
And I've stole clients from so many people just doing that.
Yeah.
And not doing it in a way like, "Oh, dude, man, you need to just take that out. Whoever did that doesn't know what they're doing," and all that negativity, by just going, "Hey, did they tell you this? Did they tell you that? Did they give you this option? Hey, would you consider this? Is this, you know, maybe this is part of the reason why you're having the problem?" And spending the time to explain it to him, and not just like taking a 5-minute look at it and go, "Yep, looks okay to me. Just give it some more time."
Yeah.
Or, you know, "I'm sorry, I can't. I need to leave even though it's business hours because I have to go do something."
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not going to say, I have never started a conversation talking badly about our local shop.
Yeah.
I've definitely had clients come in and talk badly about a shop, and I'll give them my experience I've had with them or other clients and stuff, but I'm not like, "Man, they suck."
Yeah.
God.
Well, I mean, part of it's what I'll usually ask is, well, you know, what was that experience like? Because I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to build up a relationship with the person, and everybody asks me, "Hey, how do I get an apprenticeship?" I get that question asked quite a bit, and part of that is going to get pierced.
Yeah.
We used to call it in the live music business, we called it going to school. Like, "Why can't my band get booked? Why won't you book my band?" Well, I've never seen you at a show.
Yeah.
Why would I book your band that doesn't seem to even want to support what's
Other
going on
bands.
here already?
Yeah.
You know, the way this is supposed to work is you come to the show, you see all the other bands, you see what they're doing right, and you rip them off and do it yourself. That's how this works.
I mean, that's what Slipknot did.
Yeah, Slipknot. Yeah, I could name like 4 or 5 bands they ripped off. But anyway, that's an entirely different topic. However, I guess it isn't, because I've pierced every member, I believe. The
Yeah.
original members.
Yeah.
Even the ones that weren't in the band by the time they put out self-titled.
Yeah.
Good people. Haven't seen much of them lately. It's kind of like, everybody's like, "Really?" And it's like, do you hang out with the people you hung out in your 20s when you're in your 50s? I don't know. I mean, I guess some people do, but not me.
Not you?
Nope. But yeah, yeah, it's important to find that comfort level with somebody. And if they're not passionate in the first place, you're not going to find that kind of thing. Yeah. If they're not open, because like people ask me, like, "How do you know that?" One of the things I always say is just ask a lot of questions, even if you know the answer to them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's even better if you do know the answer to them.
So
and
you
you've
can-
probably learned it here.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
Yeah. So what were some of your experience? Because you got pierced at another place in town
Yes.
quite a bit because you were underage, and they would pierce minors without parental consent,
Yeah.
which I will not do.
No.
Um,
My experience, I guess, probably wasn't the best. I felt very uneducated about a lot of the piercings that I got. Like, about how my first piercing was my nose. I was like, okay, this is fun. Got pierced with a hoop. Didn't know better.
yeah.
And then expressed to them when I came in to get my cheeks pierced, about how, yeah, I've only ever had one other piercing that I've actually remembered healing out before this. Which cheek piercings are notoriously difficult. to
Difficult.
heal out.
Extreme. You know how many people have come in and it's like, "I'd like an industrial," and I'll look at them, and it's like they got no upper ear cartilage piercings. They've got no other piercings. They may have their lobes done. And it's like, do you understand? And I do try to make an extreme point to it. It's like, that's an extreme piercing.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to take dedication that you're unaware of.
Yeah.
And maybe you should start out with something a little simpler.
And that's
But
what
I
happened.
definitely would have done that if you came in and said, "I want cheek piercings," right off the bat.
Yeah, and I definitely that's what happened the first time I tried to get my industrial pierced. Is I didn't realize how much dedication that was going to take, because I was like, well, I've had cheek piercings. Like, if I could heal these, that I can heal anything out. And that was my mindset for a very long time.
I guess, but they weren't ever completely healed.
Don't be rude. Don't be rude. I'm still in mourning.
I don't. For some reason, Jess said no. I don't know what that was about.
Just now?
No, a little while ago.
Oh.
Jess is our front counter person.
Oh.
She's probably watching. Hi, Jess.
The last time I watched her say ew, I don't remember what you said.
That was over my joke about younger women.
Oh. Yikes.
And my general response to it. At least that's, my thing. It's a joke. But anyway. Yeah, and I guess another question. I mean, well, I don't want to talk about that. I was going to ask if you had any uncomfortable.
I mean,
you've had one I know of, and I kind of threw you under the bus because I knew it was coming. And I don't want to get into that. And it wasn't anything. It was just an odd situation, an uncomfortable situation. Yeah. Just so you don't think I'm doing something evil or that we allow bad behavior here.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say that I've had any.
You know which time I'm talking about?
Maybe.
A professional performer.
Okay.
Who came in with somebody that.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
And he made a lot of rude comments.
Yeah. Not rude specifically, very like.
Creepy.
Yeah, very
and
very
there
pushy.
Was quite a bit of age difference.
Yes.
And it was a very odd. They were an odd couple.
They were, and I haven't seen him since. I've seen her since.
Yeah, I've seen her.
And she's very sweet, actually.
Yes.
But I haven't seen him since.
Yeah. So who knows? And I'll leave that at that. But that's probably the worst. Well, that and I didn't know that was the first. For some reason in my mind, I thought you'd already changed out genital jewelry.
Yeah, no.
And I didn't realize it was the first one. So you got baptized in fire, and it wasn't on purpose.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's something that, like, I knew that I was ready for. Like, I knew that one day that was going to happen.
It's coming.
It's coming. I felt the storm brewing, but.
Yeah. Not, oh, God, I just realized what that. Yeah, never mind. It's weird how the English language works.
It is. It's peculiar.
Yes. And I'm trying to think of anything else we haven't talked about that we should talk about. That happened this week. You were on time twice.
I was. Need a round of applause for that one.
How late were you to your appointment today? Because you had to leave for a.
I wasn't late to my appointment.
Okay.
Actually, I was 4 minutes early.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else. Back to the subculture thing. I watched it kind of progress into the punk rock scene and become more and more readily done, usually by the fans. And then that kind of moved into, like, when you get to, and most of the stuff they had wasn't really the best quality stuff. It was pretty much stick whatever you can find at Claire's in your nose.
Yeah.
What have you. So yeah, it's just like, and then that kind of moved on to, it wasn't until like the late 90s where I started seeing real jewelry.
Yeah.
And you know how, like, I jokingly made the comment about you putting cat bead rings in your ears about, oh, welcome to the 90s. That was a kind of a sign that you had good jewelry at first, because everything else was just like, seamless style rings or crap you got at, the mall. Or back in the day, we used to use fish sinkers and the little clips you use, and we used to hit hardware stores and all kinds, and tackle shops for jewelry, because there wasn't really a lot of options out there, and that was DIY. I have this bad habit of saying DIY.
Do yourself it.
Do yourself it. Yep, that's what it is. Do yourself it.
Yep. You had to think about that one for a second.
Yeah. So I watched it kind of peak up. I remember starting to see more visible piercings in the alternative scene. And then it exploded into the mainstream in like the early 90s, and then it just kind of exploded from there. I don't think it really became socially acceptable, because even then it was kind of underground. Like the weird uncle did it. It's like septum piercings. Like people talk about how how popular they are now and how so many people get them done. And there's all these stupid ideas that, what was it? Girls that have septum piercings,
won't stop
their
talking
trauma,
about their trauma
is their personality.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any of that stuff's true.
No.
But it makes a good TikTok video. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But back then,
It makes good content for people to get upset about and interact with.
To yell at.
Yeah.
But I mean, back then, the people, like when I first started piercing, the majority of them, the subcultures that were getting their septum pierced, was the dude that was kind of the brawny, out there guy in the pit.
Yeah.
That was it. And they were getting, big, huge jewelry. It wasn't until the jewelry became more elaborate and more fashionable that it kind of shifted away from that.
Yeah.
Because before that, it was only like, big, tough people.
Yeah.
I'm a man or I'm a woman or whatever in between, and I'm burly. And, the navel craze, that was just kind of everybody got him done.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Did you have yours done?
No.
Why not?
No. And that's the other thing is it was definitely a female piercing for most people.
Yeah.
And it still kind of stays that way. It's starting to get away from that, though.
Yeah, it's becoming gender neutral.
I've probably done more male nipples in the last year than I have in probably the last decade. So, we got 3 clowns. So yeah, you have this progression from obscurity all the way. And what's interesting is all of those things were kind of brewing around in the 60s and 70s in the underground. And then it took 20 years for a lot of that stuff really to kind of become part of the mainstream.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of got to get out into the air and share it with everybody else. And then there's the backlash of that is like, there's people that it's like, hey man, you're taking my thing. And I don't know. I don't believe that way. Like I remember having discussions about Green Day with younger kids back when they hit, and people going on and on about, they're selling out and all this crap. And I'm like, no. Hey man, everybody gets to enjoy their music now. Everybody's into the cool stuff. That's what I hoped for when I was in high school, because none of them were. They were all into crappy music, according to me. But piercing really gained notoriety. Mainly, I think at first it was shock value. It was at its core, it was about shock. It was about statement. It was about customization of sexual enhancement. It was a statement of status and where you were with that community, but it also meant you belonged to something. It was one of those secret signs that said, yeah, I'm one of you. Mm-hmm. And that's faded over the years, but I still get people that come up to me randomly that have no idea who I am and go, I really love your ears. I really like, you got your tongue pierced. That's really cool. They don't expect it, or they'll make a comment about my eyebrow. And these people are strangers and they're being nice and everything else, but it's like people are still drawn to it.
Yeah.
It's still kind of a cool thing, I guess, even though it's in the mainstream. Yes, it is all about community, as Misery said.
Misery?
Misery.
Misery?
I believe that's what that is. I don't know. It's about community. And it's about sharing that community with other people, but doing it in a way that's respectful. And I think sometimes people have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
It kind of sticks in their crawl.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's my club. How dare you come into my club?
Yeah. Gatekeeping.
Yeah, gatekeeping. That's the term I'm looking for. And I'm not a fan of gatekeeping.
No.
Unless I'm trying to keep, terrible taste out of something.
That's true.
Or people that I think politically or not so much politically, more ethically wrong.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things in life that everybody should have the right to do and everybody should be okay with. And if it isn't harming you, it's none of your damn business.
Yeah.
And you should stay away from it. And that's been my philosophy. It's the 40 feet of garden hose philosophy. It's like, I can control this, but anything beyond that's not my control, and I shouldn't even mess with it. I can influence it, but that's it. I know you love hearing this stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
See, and people ask, like, what's it like to apprentice under DaVo? Dad jokes and long analogies.
And like stories about the good old days.
The good old days, you know. It sucked then. That's usually how I end it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or stories about, Lanny McCleary.
Oh, yeah, my friend. She's friends with his son.
Yeah. It's full
Seth.
circle.
Yeah.
Seth
Des Moines,
McCleary.
small place, big city. Anyway, does anybody have any other questions out there or have anything to add? Because otherwise, I think we've had a long day today.
We have.
And she's yawning. So what we might want to do is kind of close this out. If you guys have any topic ideas of what we should do this on, feel free to, send put a comment down, because this is going to go out and be regularly shown as a video.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something you want us to address or future questions you want us to answer, I'll answer them immediately. But if you put next to it, like say, please, or just mention you want us to check it, do it on the stream, we'll be happy to do that. MJ said, thank you for all the good info. Welcome to Happy. Glad to share it. Thank you for letting me share it.
Mm-hmm.
That's important to me. What I always say is, like, when people come up to you and they don't know you, but they know what you do, it's always best to be what? Gracious with your time.
Mm.
See, I'm trying to teach her these things.
I'm so tired.
How much sleep? What time did you go to bed last night?
I went to bed at a reasonable time.
What's a reasonable time?
Like, at least 1.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, because I'm a piercer. I don't have to get up.
See, I went to bed at 2 and I woke up at 10.
That's too early for me. I woke up at
I can't help it.
I woke up at 11:45.
But yeah, but just like put in the comment that you want us to answer it on the stream or try to join us on it. Because I know sometimes there's people I'd love to watch the stream and comment on, but I just have too much crap going on and I can't be there at that time to answer or ask that question. Or maybe you have something to add to the conversation or something I messed up or missed. Please leave a comment. Mm-hmm. Other than that, here's hoping all your piercings heal with ease and without a single issue. And if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, we would both love to see if your piercing needs in the future. Have a good night, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you in that next video. And we end. Yes, end.